Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's ETA Prime back here again. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the best controllers that I've used in a very long time. These recently hit the market, and these are known as the Gulikit KK3 Max controllers. And all three of these that you're seeing here are the same controller, they're just different colorways. This is what they offer over on their website. We've got the retro, we've got the black, and we've also got the white. These new controllers support Windows, Switch, Android, and iOS. Unfortunately, they do not support PlayStation or Xbox, and it would be nice if these at least supported Xbox because we've kind of got that style going on here. But there's a lot of great features built in, and what makes these really special is the fact that we have Hall-based analog sticks and Hall-based triggers around the rear. Lots of adjustability, also has a built-in gyro. It'll work over Bluetooth, but these also come with the all-new GuliKit Hyperlink adapter, which is basically a USB dongle you'll plug into a USB port, and it supports a 1000 Hz polling rate. So this is really going to cut down the latency when you compare it to Bluetooth, but remember, you could use these as wired controllers also. Another cool feature we have built in with their new controllers is the GuliKit patented maglev vibration motor. We've got 3 different modes that we can use: HD rumble mode, maglev super haptic mode, and rotor vibration mode. I've got mine set up for that maglev super haptic mode, and it feels really good. I mean, awesome haptics built into this thing. The controller also supports upgradable firmware. I've gone through and upgraded all 3 of these, but we've got some extra accessories that come along with this, which I think are awesome and kind of make this a pro controller replacement. In this little box here, we've got some extra face buttons, and this is going to kind of turn it to PC or Xbox mode. It comes set up like Switch or Japanese controller. We've also got 3 different styles of rear paddles that we can add, a plastic protective case, which is really nice to have. That way you can kind of throw this in a bag. And inside of this case, we can also put our hyperlink adapter and our button remover tool that comes along with it. We also have our USB Type-C cable, user manual, a little bit of information about GuliKit, and a couple stickers here and there. Okay, so this is the one that I've been using, and I absolutely love it. Been using it for Android and PC. This thing feels really nice in the hand, got a lot of heft to it, and of course we do have those Hall-based triggers and analog sticks. It's nothing new. In fact, the Dreamcast actually had a Hall-based analog stick, but GuliKit kind of pioneered the modern age of them. They initially released some for the Switch, they released some for the Steam Deck, and then everybody kind of got on board with the electromagnetic analog sticks and triggers. We also have a little bit of lighting around those analog sticks, and the GuliKit logo lights up. When the analog sticks are in different modes, they will change colors, but I haven't found a way to kind of manually change the color of this RGB on the controller yet. Now, inside of the protective case, we've got our hyperlink adapter and a button/paddle remover tool. So this comes in really handy for getting those buttons out if you want to swap them out on the fly. Plus, once you lock in the rear paddles, you can actually just pull them right back off with this. And speaking of those face buttons, I've already swapped mine out, so I've got kind of that Xbox or PC layout right now. A is where I'm used to A being, but you can use kind of the Japanese or the Nintendo layout if you want to. And of course, we've got our rear paddles. So we've got 3 to choose from, but they will fit on either side, and it kind of does change the overall feel of all of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these right on. They just kind of click right in place. You do have to give it a little bit of force. They're not going to fall off while you're moving the controller around at all. Actually, really easy to get to, but you can swap it over to the other side if you want to, and kind of vice versa. All in all, we've got a short, medium, and long. Now, personally, I like the short ones, and if I was to put this over here on this side, if I can get it out of here, I can't push up on it to get that button to engage. I do have to push down, but if I move this over to the other side, and this is kind of the way I like having these paddles set up. I've been using this controller for a lot of my favorite racing games because of these awesome analog triggers, but we do have a switch back here to kind of change it to digital. Basically, once we swap this, it's just a 1-button press. Some people might want to use this for FPS games. It's really up to you. I've just kind of left it in analog mode, and since it's Hall-based, which means it's using a magnet instead of a physical connection, it is super accurate. You can also calibrate all of these buttons directly on the controller. You don't need any extra software, so you won't need to plug it into your PC. You can also calibrate the built-in gyro, but one thing I haven't mentioned or talked about yet is the D-pad. And this is one of the main things I look at for a good controller. This D-pad is absolutely amazing. Love the roll, it's got some good movement to it, and you can set this up as an 8-way D-pad or a 4-way D-pad. So 4-way would be great for platformer games, 8-way for fighting, and this D-pad here works really well for fighting games. We're going to take a look at some gameplay in just a little bit, but let's go ahead and get this set up. So I'm not going to be using Bluetooth, I'm going to be using the Hyperlink adapter with my PC. Basically, we're just going to go ahead and plug it directly into one of the free USB ports. Now, from the controller, it's probably already going to connect, but I'll show you. We're going to press our power button here. Make sure we're in hyperlink mode. Next, we want to hold our pairing button. Kind of flash right across there. And it'll automatically detect that dongle and pair up. Now, there's also a button on the dongle. If for some reason it doesn't pair up the first time, you may need to put that in pairing mode. But I haven't had any issues so far. It just worked right out of the box. And if you take a look at the LEDs up top, you'll notice that they have little logos by them. First one is going to be our adapter mode or hyperlink mode. Then we've got an Android and iOS mode, Windows mode, which also works with Android, and a dedicated switch mode. I'm paired up with the hyperlink adapter. I've got Forza Horizon 5 running here. And I do want to show you some of the settings we have here because there's quite a lot. And if you're really interested in kind of diving deep, you can check out the user manual over on their website. Right now, I've got the sensitivity on both of my analog sticks set at 100%. That's indicated by the blue LED we have around them. We can press the settings button and then either R3 or L3 to kind of lower it or raise it. We can go from 100% to 150% or all the way down to 50%. It's going to be indicated by the color of the ring. And we can do this individually with both of the joysticks. So we can fully customize this on the fly if we need to. But I found that, for my racing games, I don't mind having it set at 100%. And if for some reason you want to just go back to the default mode, you can reset everything you've changed by just pressing the minus button and the settings button on the controller. It'll bring it right back to default. But now I wanted to take a look at these analog triggers, and I personally really like the way these feel. They've got a lot of throw to them, very precise control over the gas and brake in these racing games, and this is something I personally love. And again, these are using Hall sensors inside, so it's using a magnet instead of a physical connection. This controller also supports rapid fire, otherwise known as turbo mode. You can adjust the vibration mode directly from the controller, and you can swap the ABXY in software on the controller. But yeah, so far, been having a blast with this controller, playing my favorite racing games. Very precise control from the analog sticks and those triggers. It just feels really great. Next up, let's go ahead and take a look at this D-pad. Right now, I'm in 8-way mode. This is how I want to play my fighting games. But if you were going into a platformer and just needed a 4-way D-pad, press the settings button and your left directional pad. It'll put us in 4-way mode. Playing Street Fighter isn't really going to work out like that, so I'm going to swap back to 8-way. When it comes to handheld gaming consoles, right now my favorite D-pad is from Ayaneo. I mean, they've done a bang-up job on this. I've been wanting a controller with a very similar D-pad for a long time, and I think this is as close as I've found so far with the new KK3. Love the feel of this thing. It's not too squishy, not too firm, and it's got a really good roll to it. I can pull off my favorite special moves, no problem at all. Definitely one of my favorite D-pads on a gaming controller so far. Now, I wanted to show off this built-in gyro. We've got Cyberpunk 2077. There's a bunch of different modes. We can change the sensitivity of it. But in order to enable it, we're going to press the settings button, our left bumper and left trigger at the same time. Pressing it a couple more times will change the sensitivity from low, medium to high. And we can have it enabled all the time if we want to. But the way I've got mine set up right now is I have to hold my left trigger in order for gyro to be enabled. Iron sight button on most FPS games, so that's the way I like having it set up. And yeah, I mean, it works. I'm not a huge fan of gyros or anything like that. I don't normally use them, but I did want to show this off because I know there's people out there that love this. And right now, I've got it in medium sensitivity mode. But yeah, if I want to aim with this, not a problem to get right in there. It's pretty accurate. I was really surprised when I started using this the first time. Overall, I'm loving the new Gulikit KK3, definitely one of my favorite controllers right now. Really do wish that this would work directly with Xbox. That way, I could use this controller over there, but I do a lot of PC gaming and Android gaming. I think it supports enough platforms: iOS, Android, Switch, and PC. It's got a built-in rechargeable 950 milliamp hour battery, and they claim with the LEDs off, you can get up to 28 hours out of it. With them on, around 15 hours, not too bad. It's also using GuliKit's second generation mechanical buttons for that A, B, X, and Y. It's got a really good feel to them. I mean, it kind of mimics an old rubber membrane feeling. So yeah, I mean, if you like those old rubber membranes, then this will definitely feel pretty decent to you. And I definitely want to spend a little more time with this controller, but if the interest is there, I can do kind of a follow-up video in a couple weeks, because this will be my go-to. You'll probably see it in a lot of videos coming up. Overall, really enjoy this thing, and if you're interested in learning a little more, maybe picking one up, I'll leave some links in the description. If you've got any questions, let me know down below, and like always, thanks for watching.